Hey man, how's your movie guy?
Hi. 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 All right. Uh, I hope this successfully launched it. Tom, if you're watching, come back in. Come on in. I don't know if this is. I mean, I know this is going out live, but I don't know if Tom's in the chat yet. Let me just send him a little message here. He should pop on right now. Okay. All right. Rejoin, Tom. Rejoin. Not rejoice. Well, I guess you could. Okay. Oh, I got to invite you, Tom. Sorry. Sorry, Tom. All right. So this has been the best episode ever, I could tell. I did want to check your messenger, Facebook. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, here we go. First of all, while Tom's rejoining, Tom, rejoin. I want to show you some cool stuff I got. See that there? See that? Oh, look at this. These are stickers sent to me by the amazingly talented and cool. Look at that. That's beautiful. Dee Dee Willingham. Oh, yes. And I see you in the green room, Tom. We did it. We did it, Tom. Dee Dee, thank you so much. You don't know how much I love stickers. By the way, I love stickers. So thank you guys. If you're joining the show for the first time, thank you for sticking up with sticking with the chaos. This is beautiful. So many cool stickers. I love these. Thank you for sticking with the chaos. I'm just in a flurry of enjoyment right now. And I have Tom Racine waiting in the green room. But before we do that, speaking of amazing human beings, how about this? Hey, man, how's your movie going? It's the voice of our show. Kristofer Runciman. He sent me some books. Oh, my gosh. Look at this. It's an embarrassment of riches. By the way, I did poke a head into this one, and oh my gosh, the design in this one is sick. Sick, I tell you. Speaking of sick, one last thing I want to show you here. Look at this face. You got it. Anyways, this is from one of his comics that he did. He put me in a hairnet. I sent him a picture and he drew it. It's awesome, man. Awesome. And it's signed. That's right. So between all of this, amazing. Thank you guys. You guys are really, really cool. And both of you have things on the way. Let's just say. But speaking of things on the way, what? Okay.
I had to share it. You're showing your cool stickers. I have this right by my desk. Huge Edgar Allan Poe fan. Love my Edgar Allan Poe.
Hold on. We got to do the dueling
pose.
Dueling pose.
You
gotta go. It's a pose off.
You're a poser.
Just a couple of po boys. All right. I think we're live. I saw that we had one viewer at the beginning of this. I did not share this. Tom?
I checked on my other computer and it seemed to be live, and that's how I knew I had to rejoin, because I was waiting in the previous studio, just sitting there, and then realizing I had to rejoin. That I didn't know. So
you see what happens when you have friends?
I'm telling you.
When you have friends. Okay, so I normally post this on like Facebook or something to tell people I'm going live, but who cares at this point? Let's just have fun. So Thomas.
James.
Let's talk a little bit about something that I like to call where'd it go? Well, great. Now I don't
it's
have
called
it.
Where to Go.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what you do, who you are, and why you are. Oh, here we go.
Well, with you, there you go. With you, I'm definitely a voice actor. I do a lot of different things. I've been all my life a cartoonist and illustrator, but mostly my job recently of the past like 5 to 10 years has been video editing and creating educational videos for a couple of different companies. And just freelancer. I've been very lucky, actually. Around the time the pandemic happened, I lost a job working as the art director someplace, and then freelance opened up, and I've just been lucky to be. I have a garage studio, and everything just sort of fell into place very, very luckily. And then voice work has been happening more and more. Mostly, you're one of the main reasons it started. To be honest with you, it's something I've done all my life. I was a college DJ and stuff like that, but voice acting is different, and it was stuff that I was getting from you that was pushing me down that road. It was very, very cool stuff. So,
well, I'm just taking advantage of you one project at a time. That's my thing.
Anytime, I don't care whatever happens in my life. If Jim calls, I will record whatever it is he sends me.
I got to write something down here.
Write that down.
Tom owes me his life.
Any video recording.
So, okay, so here's how my perception of how we met and everything. I think I saw you. I know I saw you at an event. It might have been Comic-Con, but
it's probably Comic-Con. Yeah,
you were hosting a panel or something.
Well, my Comic-Con stuff. I was going to make my own lower third.
There you go.
Like that.
There you go.
It might have been Lonnie Millsap.
Well, it had to have been through the power of Lonnie Millsap.
Yeah. Cartoonist buddy of ours, and I think I moderated one of his panels because Lonnie does not like to speak in public. Yeah. And he had a spotlight panel and said, "Please help me," and I just lobbed softball questions at him.
Yes, but did you also go to a Javier Hernandez event or something? Did you come down to LA for something one time?
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't remember. Anyways, we met.
I know.
Fell in love.
Indeed.
But soon after that, I had you play a priest.
Yeah,
Cherries in the Snow.
Cherries in the Snow.
Which I should have brought the clip right now, but I don't have it. But you did a great job. And then after that, every project I'd have a role for you because you're just really versatile, amazing, and the real deal. So
I couldn't believe you gave me some of the stuff. I mean, I was like, oh yeah, I'll do a little voice in the background. I'll be, dumbass white guy in the background or something like that. And then all of a sudden you're like, no, I want you to be the big bad guy. And I want you to do this. No, I can be this strange podcaster in the middle of the desert. Oh my God, this is awesome.
So speaking of that, I'm going to show that clip right now. I'm going to show that clip.
Which one? Dr. Jonah?
It's one of people's favorite clips. I know it's one of my all-time favorite things I've done. It's where you played a character in my personal, one of my favorite films that I've done, Infinity Pool, but it's because of all the performances in it. And yours is like front and center. Great. Let's see if I deleted it. Never mind. No, let's see if we could play this. They're going to watch this whole clip. This clip's like 52 seconds long. So this is Tom playing Dr. Jonah.
Welcome back to the only hour of truth in your entire little life, the Nocturnal Manifesto with Dr. Jonah. People ask me about the media all the time, the conservative media, the liberal media. There's no such thing, kittens, no such thing at all. They run it. They run it all from top to bottom. They play us like fine fiddles, like a Stradivarius from another world. You're on their side, I'm on the other side. There's no sides, kittens, there's no sides. They're out there, holding us in this sphere. They don't want us out. We're happy little birds in a cage. How do you escape a cage when you don't even know you're in one?
And we're at break. Great job, Dr. Jonah. Awesome as usual.
Rick, can you grab me an iced tea from the fridge?
Oh man, I love doing that guy. That was so much fun.
Well, that's not the first time you said that, but
that's true. My college days were my own days. Leave me alone. Yeah. What I love about Dr. Jonah was that it was you, as you usually do. You give kind of a loose structure. You're not a very tight script guy because you want things to be natural. And you gave me just a couple of things, and then you really encouraged me to just sort of go off. And I just remember setting up over there, and I just was standing, and I just got into this thing, and it was so much fun. Like my favorite part that I added to that was the name kittens, because you said something like something you would talk to your audience. So you would call your audience something, and it just kind of came out of me. And I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. It was like one of the rare moments of improv in my life up to that point. And I was like, it was just such a fun character to do.
Now, Tom, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor.
Yes.
I'm going to play a commercial. And on this commercial, can you share this link for this show with me or on Facebook or something? Because for some reason, I think we're the only two on right now. That is not the case. So
where do I get just the URL up at the top?
Yeah.
Is that the link? Or
I'm going to, in fact, because it's such a beautiful thing and you're in the movie, I'm going to play a preview for a wonderful movie that we like to call Infinity Pool. I'll be back in a minute.
I'd like you to invite the Pullman to the dinner party tonight.
Miss Summerwine, thank you. This is such a classy place, and I am really honored to be here. Thank you.
Please, call me Beverly.
Okay, Beverly. I'm falling in love with you, Beverly. Real love, you know, not just the horny kind.
Beverly Summerwine, she's a shadow, she's a puppet. She's behind the scenes, but even she doesn't know how far the scenes go.
Life is full of surprises.
Okay, there we go. Tom, did you find the link to this?
Yes,
To this live stream? Can you send it to me? Because I'll send it out. I'll post it on my Facebook too.
Put it in the Messenger.
Yeah, that'll work. And then we'll just sit here. We'll just sit here till everybody's ready.
We're going to download this part of it. It's very exciting.
Yes. So, and people that are watching this in the future don't care because it's not live to them. This is old news.
Exactly.
In fact, the aliens have already landed by now. And
how did we do?
Oh, we were good. We were good.
You think?
Okay, here we go.
How we do?
I'm having to send this to individials now.
I just put it on. I put it on my Facebook. So the 6 people who listen to me can now join us.
Okay, and then it says this content isn't available.
Hey man, how's your movie going?
So,
well, the link I sent you works. I just clicked on it on my Facebook.
Maybe if I put it on mine too as well.
Yeah.
Okay, share now. All right. Can you tell if it's broadcasting live for you?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. So now that we got that madness out of the way, so we are live. It is going out. I've never had these problems, and I blame this all on you.
I take full blame.
Okay. So take 2. Okay. So Tom, we did Cherries in the Snow.
Yes. Where I got to play a priest who looks suspiciously like me.
Yes. And we did Infinity Pool.
Which looked suspiciously like me with a better beard. And
blue
right. Eyes. I have brown eyes.
That's right. And then after that, you played, what's his name?
From
Stroma.
Stroma. That's right. Yes, Stroma was fun to do.
Yes. Stroma in that other movie that we did.
And I got to be the bad guy in the Black Diamond movie, which was so much fun.
That's right. You were Osiris.
Osiris, yeah. And then I was also the Kristofer Walken-esque called the alter ego of him.
Yeah.
Which was fun to do.
That was awesome.
Yeah. That was cool. So I always want to play the bad guys. I have the bad guy voice. I have either like the teacher mentor voice or I have the bad guy voice. Those are my 2 voices.
Well, then I typecasted you in another thing. I'm gonna play this. This is like total typecasting. Tom played Ben Haven, the Hollywood heartthrob.
Oh yes, yeah.
Huh.
This is.
And we'll play this, and then we'll come back.
Man, nice spread you got here, man. I love all the avocados.
Look at you. Look like you just climbed out of a Tarzan catalog. Johnny Weissmiller in the flesh.
And who is this?
This is Nadia, my blushing bride. Look at her. That'll knock the coconuts flat off your palm tree. I think that I shall never see a bone as lovely as a tree. She knew me as a child in this elder man's body, and I knew that she truly embodied everything that a man could want. We run together in the sun, but both of us knowing that the night would come. But there's one thing that must be known: the night forever shall eat its own.
That's right. The night
Top billing on that one.
we had such a good time making that film.
If you'd shown me a picture of the two characters, I would not have guessed that you would cast me as the Brad Pitt side of that equation. I would have thought I'd be Nadia before I'd be that guy. So well done. That was great.
Well, we have a picture of Tom without his makeup. So,
but that was the great Charlie Rossman, right? As the other,
yeah,
as the
Charlie
older guy.
Rossman,
Yeah,
the amazing Charlie Rossman.
Yes.
We got to get him on here one day.
I bow to him.
Yeah, so you've been in a ton of my stuff. You're like my my Elliot Gould to Woody Allen. No, who would be in a lot of Woody Allen movies?
Yeah, bad analogy these days.
You're my son Lee or whatever.
I was just watching a thing on James Gunn after I just watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and he's always worked with Michael Rooker and with Nathan Fillion.
Yeah,
they're in like all of his movies, so that's what I feel.
Well,
I'll be your Fillion. That'll be fun.
So you, Charlie, Deacon, who's my other go-tos? Well, I use Lisa Huff, has been in a few of them. It's an ever-expanding group of people in these films.
In the Lujan verse.
Yes, but I'm very, very, very happy about that, and happy to have that.
When you think of your films, do you think of them all in a single universe?
Like, I do.
They all sort of coexist.
Yeah, and I got that from George Lucas, and then it was confirmed by Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah,
and I thought that's really a cool idea that they could be. They don't have to interact, but they exist within the same universe. And sometimes there's subtle hints, and sometimes there's subtle events. But I don't like to hit people over the head with it. But I like the idea that they're in a giant toy box, and there are all these interchangeable parts like that. Yeah, I don't like, for example, the only trouble with that is if you do like a total science fiction movie or something like that, like, you can't blow up the Earth necessarily. So, or
just a different timeline at that point.
Okay. Yeah, but yes, but thank you, and yeah, some people are checking out. They're checking in now. We're getting people joining.
Hi, people.
So this new project that I'm working on, the Full Fungus. I talked a little bit about that. Yeah. So I wanted to do a feature. It's not my first feature. It's actually on my own. It's my second, because Counterclockwise in Foreverland was the first feature that I did. So I know I can do a feature. And then I worked on Revengeance with Bill Plimpton. And then I've done some other things that are an hour long, but they were series that I combined into to a feature. And I thought about doing that with this one. I thought about making the Full Fungus a series and then, just making it a feature. But this story is so bizarre and so many different pockets in it that I think I just like the idea of it being a big feature with a lot of interesting things to look at, but a thread that connects a story that goes somewhere. That's my goal. And right now, where I'm at with it, Tom, is I have a lot of pieces floating around, And
Animation in a nutshell, right there. Lots and lots of pieces
yeah,
floating around.
lots of pieces floating around. But here, let's see if I can share something very cool. I'd like to show y'all's Tom's character that he is playing in the Full Fungus, and maybe another character we'll talk after.
Oh, more. There's more. But wait, there's more.
But wait, that was the idea going off in my head. Okay.
Perfect timing.
Window, and I have to find it here. And ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you now to Mitch Breeze, weatherman. Mitch Breeze.
This guy was so much fun. Get to my inner Patrick Warburton douchebag sort of guy. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look at that. That's great. That's a smarmy, and very jealous of the hairline. It's excellent. Well done.
He works for News 3, of course. Like that. Look at the detail on the drawing in the back. That's awesome.
And that's great. I mean, I feel like I'm there. That's nice.
I really do enjoy his tie, though. Good color combo. So there is a local LA weatherman that and people from LA will be like, hey, is that Dallas Raines? It is not Dallas Raines, but it could be, but it's not. Personality-wise, absolutely not, because Dallas Raines seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
Breeze, on the other hand, how would you describe him, Tom?
Oh man, he was fun because you just basically described him as you. I thought it was one line because you sent me something, and it's like just the news report. He does
one line, and then he does another line. And another line.
But originally I thought he was like a background thing. I thought you were just going to have him on TV or something because the line was basically like a weather report. It's like 79 degrees here in Pomona Valley and all that kind of stuff. And then that was it. And I thought I was done. And then you're like, okay, I've got your script. I'm like, what script? What are you talking about? And so here we are. So yeah, he's got, and man, that one pushed me because he's all over the map. I don't want to spoil anything because I don't know how much people know about the story, but he goes through this whole journey.
You cry in this?
I cry. Yeah, I know. I got to. I'm begging. I'm crying. I'm making fun of people. I'm yelling at people. Oh, it's awesome.
Fighting.
I know. It was very Al Pacino, man. It was a lot of fun. So
yeah, but he's a fun-loving guy that takes it too far always.
Yeah,
he is the best friend and partner in crime to Larry Carlisle, the host of Cash Grab, the game show. And he's Mitch Breeze is the weatherman, longtime weatherman for Action 3 News. He's a womanizer. He and Larry are like the toxic twins. They're womanizers, cheaters, druggies, gamblers.
What I love is he's like a D-level celebrity. He thinks he's the biggest guy in town. He's got a certain modicum of celebrity, and he just is riding that until the day he dies, man. Because that's like he thinks he's the biggest dude in town. He's a weatherman, and it's awesome. It was so much fun to play him.
So Leanne just popped in. Hi, Leanne. Leanne popped in, and Leanne actually met Dallas Raines, the weatherman,
really?
LA weatherman in real life. Yeah. And like I said, this is not Dallas Raines. It's just a sort of a representation of a hip LA, partying weatherman, and he just has Dallas Raines hair. That's all. But Mitch Breeze is his own man. But
Mitch definitely has douchebag hair. That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah. I was very like when I came up with that character. So, okay, I'm going to give an exclusive right now. Ooh. Exclusive. Dun, 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 so some of the sections of the film have there's acts. Again, like Pulp Fiction has, the broken into acts, the Bonnie situation, this has acts in it. I don't know what I'm going to call them yet, but they're acts. And the first one that I thought of in this one, there's two of them that I thought of first, but this was the first one. His act is going to be called To Kill a Weatherman. and it's might be what you're thinking, but it might not be what you're thinking. So it's very interesting. It's
open to interpretation.
He has an interesting arc. Let's just say he is by far probably the worst behaved. And this, I mean, if you count murder, then he's not the worst behaved. But
Yeah, well, murder's up there in terms of behavior and problems. Yes.
never
indeed.
say that in a job interview, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
It's up there.
It's up there. That's why there's degrees. There's first degree, second degree. And then
Yeah. So.
Well, that's another thing.
So
Yeah, sleazy cars. Yeah, very, very much. Slightly up above, just like one notch above sleazy car salesman. He's just
yeah.
Bye, Leanne. See ya.
So that's Tom's recorded his part, but also very excitingly, and we'll have to bring her on. Dang it, I didn't think about this, but she's not there right now, anyways. Kim,
She's a rehearsal. Yeah,
your lovely wife, Kim,
my lovely wife, the actual actor in the house,
who is actually acting right now.
Exactly at a rehearsal right now. Yeah. So.
She plays a character. It's the cousin of the lead, Chino Diamond, and her name is Annie. What was her last name? It was some related to your wife's name.
Well, we live on Pepper. Was it Pepper?
Annie Pepper.
Yeah,
Annie Pepper.
Yeah.
Annie Pepper is Kim's character, and that's the cousin again. She was an ex-detective. Now she owns a bar. She's all tatted up. It's kind of a sexy girl, tough. So, anyways,
that part definitely my wife, not the tatted up part, but definitely.
Yes, yeah. So, all right.
She had a ball doing that, though. It is funny because she is a musical theater actor and a stage actor, and she's very much like, "What's the script? What's the script?" And I kept saying, "Jim's not a script guy. He's not going to be." Not going to be a script per se. So
I give sides, right?
But you actually wrote a lot of stuff and she stuck right to it. And I was pushing her to do different readings of it, but she definitely likes the script, so she's definitely more classically trained actor than
Tom, tell me about my script writing technique.
Well, you know what you were just saying, even just the death of a weatherman. I honestly very often don't know what's going on in your film. I ask you like what's going on at that moment.
That's after you watch them too, right?
Exactly. Usually that's even more so. That's the 2001. Is a floating space baby? Was a drug addict? What's going on? But I like that, you'll answer the questions like, okay, what's going on right now? What's the emotional state of this character? That kind of thing. But very often it's out of context stuff. And I always try to give you 2 or 3 reads and I'm never sure what you're going to use. And as an artist, my favorite art directors are the kinds who sort of let you do your thing. And that's exactly what you do. You're always sort of like, but do it angry. Are you angry? Let's see what happens, and it's just a ton of fun. I'm never quite sure where you're going to go with it. So it just gives me complete freedom. It's so much fun. You get a lot of dings.
I just realized that I'm
Stroma.
Stroma. That's Tom's character, Stroma. He's on my mug. Oh, do you have a Dr. Jonah mug? Yeah, show the Dr. Jonah. You can buy yourself a Stroma mug or a Dr. Jonah mug.
I have merch. I have merch with my ugly face, and it holds all my cool pens and stuff.
Take those pens out before you drink. So,
why do you think I wear glasses?
So, regarding the script, I do not like writing scripts. I don't like sitting writing. I have I always have an idea where the film's going. I almost always know how the film's going to end. The reason I say almost always is because I always think I know how the film's going to end. And then I'll get there and be like, no, this better. But when it comes to giving people lines for their parts, what I normally do is I'll write a few, like a little short treatment of here's where you are and here's what you're doing. Your character's at a gas station and somebody's harassing them and blah, blah, blah. And you're kind of mad. And then I give you the lines and then again, we have a working relationship. Like, okay, there's your first delivery. Here's your next one. That's completely different. And how about this one? I'm whistling during this one. And this, and then you just go give me whatever. And then I just cherry pick. That's all I do.
Yeah.
This. So then I'm really acting as a puzzle master, moving things around and going, oh, if he says this here, this will go here. So it's kind of like not a montage, a collage. It's kind of like that's the way I work. I work kind of like a collage. I move things around and go, oh, this would be good here, and this would work here. Or don't put anything here. Just have silence here. Have music here.
I mean, it's nice. I think it's important to have some direction, but I like in voice world they call it giving an ABC read, where you're basically 3 completely different reads of the same line, so that they can decide later. Paul Pate, someone's following me. Wow.
By the way,
because
Tom is not in his late 90s. I just want to
yeah, I look like my late 90s, but I wish I was back in the late 90s. Very cool era. But I remember, and I'm this is me speaking totally like I'm an actor, which I'm still learning. I really don't think of myself that way, but I'm trying to because I need to. But I always remember huge Lord of the Rings fan, and Sir Ian Holm, who played Bilbo in the Lord of the Rings movies, was famous for like being different in almost every single take. And his reasoning was he wants the director to play. He wants the director to be, what if he's angry right now? What if he does that? And I think that's important as a voice person to be able to read the same line 10 different ways. And you don't particularly want 10 takes. I know that gets a little confusing after a while. You want like 3 solid, those you choose from.
I'm because I'm impatient with myself. I don't want 5 takes of the exact same read.
Right.
It's like, why? You just, I'll use the first one, but I don't mind 5 takes if they're like going tapering off or they're read differently,
Right.
And most importantly, we want to know.
This is Big Trouble in Little China, the Japanese poster version, my favorite movie of all time.
He called it.
Hey, Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah.
Big
I don't know why I collect dumbass things, but I have my Lopan and I have my Kurt Russell. So there we go.
Kurt Russell could also be the Johnny Depp doll from Crybaby.
One of my all-time favorite movies. It's one of those movies that I can't possibly defend as a great film, but it's a great film. I don't care.
All right. This is the part where Tom looks disgusted, horrified, and I've never seen Big Trouble in Little China.
See, I think it would be totally up your alley. Are you not a John Carpenter fan in general?
I think John Carpenter's great.
Yeah. How did this one escape you're an 80s guy? You're right, 80s music?
Oh, I don't know how it escaped me.
You're coming down here. We're going to watch it. I'm just going to like tie you to the chair and you're going to make.
I think when it comes to film, I'm more of a 90s guy when it comes to film.
Okay.
Yeah. For the most part. Not always, but a lot.
What I always loved about this film is that it's completely like misunderstood. The studio didn't know what to do with it because it's like even the posters like Kurt Russell with a big gun and looking studly and all this kind of stuff. And that's not what the movie is. He's kind of a goofball who the sidekick, the Asian sidekick, is actually the hero. And that's what John Carpenter wanted, was to turn it on its head. Because and the studio was like, but he's an action hero. What do we do? It's like, so the marketing was just all wrong. And I think if you go in there knowing that, it's a hilarious send up of that kind of movie. It's like the big fight. He's like trapped under a dude. I mean, it's awesome.
My favorite John Carpenter movie is I know they're going to say The Thing, but it's actually not. My favorite is Escape from New York.
Escape from New York, yeah.
I love
Escape from New York and The Thing are like right below this one for me.
Yeah.
Right
How about Escape from the Thing? That was good.
Escape from the
Yeah.
What's funny is Carpenter can be kind of hit or miss too. I mean, he's not, I think he's brilliant at certain things, and other movies are just, they're okay. But
great,
Halloween,
beautiful voice, beautiful singing
exactly.
voice. Rainy Days and Mondays always get me down.
Played drums originally and had that eating disorder, which was pretty sad. But,
I have an eating disorder, but it's just I'll eat this order, that order, and
this is good scotch. Don't make me spit it out.
That's why I don't write scripts, folks.
It's all there. What's great is because you and I did the voices on Big Trouble.
Big Trouble for me.
Speaking of Kristofer, awesome art, man. That was awesome. He showed art.
Oh yeah. So Tom, I need to. By the way, just really quickly, I need you to write 2 things down.
2 things down.
Your name and I'm lost. And then put it on a sticker. Your name and I'm lost. Okay.
Why?
Dee Dee Runson. I'm not Dee Dee Runson. Dee Dee Willingham. Dee Dee is spelled D-E-D-E. So all of you out there, Dee Dee Willingham. She is an amazing. Well, look at what she's done. She has got a crafts channel, and she has more followers than you, me, and our parents combined. So. She's got more followers than Mahatma Gandhi. Yeah. Okay. And then this is Kristofer Runciman. I'm trying to find a non-spoiler. He
Just
does
show the
one-page art every day. He'll do a new one-page. This is his book, but he'll do a one-page,
Brilliant.
on the fly, just live in front. Oh, you know what? Actually, here, let me show you this. These are his one pages. Tom, he does these at one sitting, like the one pager.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. He's a really good art. Runciman.
He's not just an artist, he's a machine.
He's a machine artist.
I've done a lot of cartooning, and that's a long day, man. That's well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
So go check. I would love for you to check him out, and all of you folks, I know you're checking Tom out right now. I can tell. Woo!
Who doesn't want a piece of this, baby?
Yeah, but if you guys are ever in, well, you can't steal Tom away from me, but you can rent him.
You can rent me at any time. I'm not going to give you the Jim Lujan discount rate, though. I can tell you that.
Turn around, baby. Turn around. Let us see what we're. Oh yeah, baby. Turn around right there, baby. Yeah.
Out for me.
Show
Be
the
angry.
dimple. Show the dimple. Come on. Show the dimple.
I covered them with the
okay.
with the Colonel Sanders mustache. And
now lose the shirt now.
No one wants to see that. Trust me. I don't like seeing it. So.
Oh, we have such good times. So Tom, enough reminiscing. I'm going to show some more madness here. Hang on. Let's see what else we got to show. We showed the Dr. Jonah clip, but we didn't show this clip yet. This is one of my favorite scenes in any movie I've ever done. And Tom plays a character named Ben Fingerman. Ben Fingerman is the father of Danny Fingerman. Ben Fingerman is like a James Caan old lawyer, and it's in the film Sugar Machine, and it goes a little something like this. And when we get back, we're talking about 70s films, dude.
Yeah.
And oh shucks, is it not a video file?
Have you done this before?
This is how you do things, folks. I could have sworn this is a video file. Well, look at that.
If it says JPG, that's not a movie.
No, it's my initials. I thought that was a thing.
.mov, .mp4.
And it's moving. Pretend it's moving. Yes. It is a video file. Hold on, dang it. I'm going to redeem myself. Here comes the Redeemer. Ready to redeem.
The second coming.
Oh, yes. Hang on. Cancel. Oh, boy.
You just canceled the Redeemer? You can't do that.
Don't let old men.
Blasphemous.
Don't let old men play with electronic toys.
No Computer for Old Men. One of my favorite movies. I love that film.
Share screen. Window.
I'm just going to drink my Balvenie.
How come it not play? Why it not play?
You can't contain the awesomeness of it, apparently.
Okay, we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Hang on. I'm gonna do this again.
Act it out with sock puppets.
And here we go. Ready to roll. Redeemed.
An associate of mine, I came across this rare painting, and it might be a chance to make some do-re-mi.
What kind of money are we talking about here?
Millions, dog.
Oh, well, hot damn Yosemite Sam, that is some serious scratch, Danny. Is your guy for real?
Yeah. I'm gonna need your help finding a buyer for this painting. I don't know no one that got that kind of money.
I tell you what, I'm gonna text you the number of an old acquaintance, the Sugar Machine.
The Sugar Machine?
Hey, yeah, that Sugar Machine. We used to party back at Robert Blake's cabana back in the day. Yeah, it was me, him, Jack Klugman. It was a hell of a scene. He's a huge art collector. If you're looking for a buyer, he's your guy.
All right. We're back. We made it happen. We're back.
I need to immediately jump in and say, as proud as I am of some of my ad libs, the whole Jack Klugman cabana thing was 100% JL right there, because I read that line going, oh my God, that's brilliant. It was a hell of a scene. I love that.
We had a good time.
I got to play my New York in there. That was my thing. So
Kristofer, speaking of Kristofer, he says, Jim, can you ask Tom questions while doing your Bono impression? Well, I'm not trying to do an impression. I'm trying to make an impression.
You need the big glasses.
Yeah, I don't have any.
I was going to say, you interrupted me before. I need to praise you a little bit because you got me the gig with the on the Plimpton film, and you're like, I'm not really a voice actor, and then you go over there and you just do this killer performance as one of the guys in the film, and I'm like, dude, you're a voice actor. What are you talking about? He's like, I'm just making voices. Yeah, that's what voice acting is.
I there was a time where I thought I wanted to get into voice acting, and then it's very cutthroat. Would you not agree? It's very, it's
yeah.
it's
well,
very,
yeah, it's easier to get in than it ever was when I was younger, but it's a still very tight circle. And then honestly, there's a whole nother discussion, but I'm kind of scared of the AI thing with voices. I think AI is it's gonna be very helpful in certain levels. And like I've seen stuff on Photoshop, on a Premiere that I do that I really think it's amazing. But with voice, I think it could knock most voice acting out. Especially audiobooks and stuff like that. So it's a little, just when I want to get this thing going. It's awesome. Thanks. I'm getting replaced by the robots.
Circle was a little bit tighter. You'd get a few more jobs.
Exactly. I need
I'll
just
turn around.
At least I got at least I got the Lujan joints. That's all I need. That's all.
Well, you're locked in. Although
I'm locked in at the Lujan.
Kristofer runs some just breathing down your neck, man. That guy does some amazing voices. So
good. Get him in. Get him in.
Just look out, Tom.
Just get him in. Do it together. I'm gonna do scenes together.
So Tom, have you ever done a commercial, like a voice commercial?
I've done a bunch of stuff. A lot of narration for various places. A lot of corporate things. I am the voice of at least one phone system somewhere. My wife and I share that. We are both the voice of one phone system somewhere. She's the voice of some hotel system back east. And I'm the voice of some other one. It was hilarious. That was kind of our, we hung that up together. That was very fun.
Gentlemen, please put your towels back on the rock after the steam bath is over.
No, it's like, press 1 to get to this department and all that kind of stuff. It was fun. And I've done some of that. I've done a number of websites and things like that. And I just did the Plimpton thing, which I'm super excited about.
Let's talk about so cool. that.
I can't believe you forgot. I can't believe. I mean, Bill Plimpton, one of my, as an illustrator, as a cartoonist, one of my biggest influences. I just love. I think it was like '86 when Your Face came out, and I think I came to see the Spike and Mike and the Twisted Animation Festival, and it was on. Back in the days before the internet, we had to go to film festivals.
I was in that film festival.
I know. I bet you were, and that's the thing. I say it all comes full circle.
I played Mama, I'm a Thug. That was the first time I ever played in front of an audience. I mean,
oh wow,
that's the first time I ever played in a theater. Was Mama, I'm a Thug in Hollywood. And they were just brutal that night with all the other films. And then when mine came out, I'm like, here we go, brace for it. And and I always say this: it got the second best reception that night. I really do believe it did. It got the second best reception. And a star was born.
A star was born. But your connection with Bill, you're like saying, I think there might be some voices in his next film because he doesn't do a lot of voices in his films. And I remember it was a year ago, almost coming up, because you called me I was walking around Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. I was with my kids walking around. All of a sudden, I get this phone call from you. It was like, "Hey, you're going to be in the Plimpton film." I'm like, "What?" I'm at Comic-Con. I don't weird things. So that was pretty cool. And then it ended up being much bigger than I thought. I mean, it was like, I'm thinking it's just going to be a few lines, but you and I are like the film. I mean,
we're like the main two.
We're like 80% of the dialogue easy, if not more. And
isn't that funny? When you got the news at Comic-Con, were you just like glass-eyed and your kids were going, "Daddy, Daddy"?
Well, they're teenagers, so they better not be doing that. That would be a little strange.
I like that. That's a good
No, I was walking around with my kids and some friends, and I was doing that whole Comic-Con is, of course, you've been there a zillion times. It's just you're constantly being bombarded with information, and then this guy in my ear is telling me I'm going to do voices in a Bill Plimpton film, and I'm like, what? Really? It's like, that's awesome. Hey, my kid's got a hot dog. I gotta go.
We're playing these brothers that are the mayors of a town.
Yeah.
I play. By the way, if you want to see what my voice sounds like, just go watch Revengeance because it's pretty much Deathface. But it's a country version of Deathface. But and then Tom, you're the kind-hearted, goofy brother. That's like the genius out of the
slightly nicer of the two.
Yeah, my guy's like a maniacal genius. Your guy's has a heart.
Yeah.
And then you play a couple of other voices, as do I in the film.
Yeah, it was. There's a pompous actor who gets a couple of lines.
Yeah.
I don't think I do the dummy anymore. He had a dummy, or do I? I don't remember.
one
Because
of
I
the
did like
hitmen.
5, and then he ended up using only 2 or 3 of them. But that was fine. He was like trying different things.
Yeah.
I was just happy he kept the one he did, because that's the big one. So I was very happy about that. And then
Well,
it's over in the it just finished up the Annecy Film Festival, the biggest thing in the world. And oh my God, a bunch of Frenchmen have heard my voice. It's great excitement. So,
I know, man. And when Bill said it got into Annecy, I'm like, we're going to France, baby.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
thought for sure, like next year, this time next
Yeah.
year. And it was
it happened like just now, and we're like,
it was
oh
like,
yeah,
that was
it's got to
2
be
weeks ago.
2024, right? You know?
Yeah. That was
No,
2
it's
weeks
this.
ago.
Oh.
Yeah. But,
It did not win the Contretemps award, but still, it was. I mean, it got a bunch of press coverage, and I was looking at it online, just like the
Oh,
stuff
really?
going by.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
because the
that.
French, I know. I mean, the French are huge into animation, especially cool, weird animation. So Bill's like
Yeah.
probably a god over there. But he also, I don't think it was quite finished. I think he said it wasn't 100% finished.
No, there's no
So
way it could have been finished.
yeah, I was going to say, because we just literally got them files not that long ago. So I mean, so I was actually, that's again why I was so surprised it was in this year. I thought it was like a year ahead. He applied, and they said, yeah, sure, next year. So because I was literally thinking about going, because we've been sort of toying with the idea of a London Paris trip with the kids, and we're like 2024. Oh my God, this could work out. And then no, not so much, but still, you never know.
Well,
We need to get Full Fungus is going to be in there. That's how
Full
it's gonna
Fungus
go.
would win all of the awards.
You need to get into more award ceremonies. I need you
Well-
to like fill out some forms, get them into contests.
That's one of the goals with Full Fungus. One of the goals is to enter into a lot of festivals. I
Yes.
rarely have entered into festivals, and I've played in even less than that, if that makes any sense. But now with Full Fungus, I'm aiming for, I always say 72 minutes. I don't know why, but around that long. And
You should enter into everything, man. Alberta
Yeah.
Film Festival. I don't care where it is. Just get it in there and start getting those
put me
little
in a
little
snuff
wreaths that you
film
can put in.
festival if I need to.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna play Epstein's Island for sure. We're gonna just play everywhere, and we'll play Alcatraz if they have us. That actually would be really cool. Be echoey, would be really cool.
Yeah, but how cool is it for you? I mean, when you started off doing this when you were younger, I mean, it was like you'd be lucky if like 7 people saw your work, right? I mean, when I was doing student films and stuff in Arizona State, you'd be like, maybe I'll get it into a local festival and 20 weird film nerds will see my film. And now it's like, I'm done with my film, published, and 600 people have seen it already on YouTube. But it's, 6 million people have just watched this cat throw up. So I don't know what the combination is. But
Do you know who I am? When I started doing these animatic cartoons, like the third week that I was doing them, I went to a public access TV station and asked if I could have a show, and they said yeah, and then I had to make a bunch of other new ones. So like right off the bat, I've always been showing my stuff to people, which
That's
I'm thankful for that, because otherwise I would have been shy and would have been gun shy. So I got right out there.
I always wanted to do a public access TV show. I could never get the people together to do it, but in Arizona where I was growing up, but I always thought that would be the coolest thing, to do a public access TV show.
Where'd you grow up in Arizona?
Scottsdale. My dad retired when I was 11. We moved out there in 1977. And so I grew up mostly in Scottsdale, and then left Arizona as soon as I was 22, when I met this girl in San Diego. So
When you moved out there, did your dad say, no, you can't see Star Wars, we're moving in, you're gonna have
no, it was literally that month. I moved out there in like August of 77, and I saw it like 6 times at the Cine Capri on 24th Street in Camelback. And
You know that I didn't see Star Wars until the re-release right before Empire Strikes Back.
Really? Wow.
No, and I was scared to see it. People, okay, so I've mentioned this before. I think I talked to Gary Hodges about this. Star Wars, when it first came out, people forget, unless you were there the first time, unless you were young the first time, it was mysterious. It was very mysterious. And it looked a little bit scary because you had Darth Vader, and you didn't know what was, like, they didn't show.
Yeah, Darth Vader was terrifying, man.
Yeah, you just knew that it was in a dark spaceship, and that they had the thing with Princess Leia and the needles on the preview, and then it was just this weird science fiction. It was mind blowing. It was like you hadn't seen anything like it. We're used to it now, but just remember the first time you had cheesecake. That was Star Wars,
There's a certain I try not to be the old man on the porch yelling at the kids, but there is a certain beauty in that where it was so special, you know what I mean? And it was literally in the theater for like a year and a half. I remember going back. It was sort of like you'd almost be like, "Hey, what do you want to do tonight?" I don't know. Let's go see Star Wars. You know, I mean, it was like it was just there. It just ran in the theaters for almost a year and a half, 19 months, I think it was in Phoenix. So, but now ask me that question as Bono.
It's like a war. It's like a war of the stars, but the stars are in your eyes. And when you close your eyes, you open your mind.
Is there anyone more divisive than Bono? People like worship Bono or think he's a total douchebag. I don't know how it works.
I like Bono. I've
always
really
liked you too. I never understood the kind
I
of
like you too. I like
you too.
Oh my god!
Oh, but I've never understood the backlash on U2. It's like, did they sell out? Is that the thing? Did people think they sold out because they were like a
because they're
college
so
band?
big, and they don't. People don't like this. You know, but
I have at least one or two U2 stories. So
musically, I think they're
musically.
Great.
I was a stagehand at Arizona State, and when the Joshua Tree album came out, that was when they went from college band to huge band, right?
Yes.
But I went to work one day, and there was a book to sign up for what was coming up, and one of the things was U2 World Tour starting in Tempe, Arizona, in 1986 or whatever it was. And I'm like, why the hell would U2 start a world tour in Tempe, Arizona? And so I got paid to sit and man a spotlight, which ended up not getting used for like 7 days, and watch them rehearse. It's still easily the best job I've ever had in my life. I did nothing. I got paid, and I watched U2 rehearse for 7 days and then do 4 concerts. And in one of our relatively smaller arenas, it was like a 10,000 person arena. And then a year later, they came back and they sold out Arizona's the Sun Devil Stadium. They sold it out 4 nights in a row, 72,000 people a night. So it was within that year that they became ridiculously huge. And it was so cool to like be there right at the very beginning of their tour. And it was just like, I'm never going to, I remember saying at the time, this is going to be the best job I've ever had. And it turns out I've never topped it. So it's like, it's all downhill from there, man.
Except for
working with Jim Lujan and getting my voice out there as crazed podcasters and villains. Yes, yeah. And I was a pilot who turned back into a child at one point. That was
at what point did you decide to really make some do re mi off of your voice? How long?
Still working on that part. Still working on the do re mi part.
When did you decide that you wanted to?
Well, I think even as far back as college, people had said just, hey, you got a nice voice. And so I went over to the Arizona State radio station, and it's like it's almost like a John Hughes movie at this point, because it was like I walked in and it was like this one stone dude kicking back with his feet up on the desk. And I went, hi, I'd like to maybe get a work on the radio. And he goes, yeah, man, how's Wednesday? 3 to 6. Come here. Here's the turntable, and you hit this button, and here you go. You know, and I was like, okay. So I learned a little bit about radio back at the actual carts, you know, the 8-track carts and all that kind of stuff, and recording. And I did that for like 3 years. I had like 3 people listening, but it was awesome. It was a lot of fun to get mic experience. And then I did a thing. I found out there was a thing in Arizona called radio reading for the blind. And it was a public service where it was like on a carrier wave of the jazz station. You had to have a special receiver, but it was for people who were blind or people who were bedridden or home-ridden or elderly. And you would read the newspaper or other things. And so I figured it was fun. It was a chance to be on the radio and stuff like that. But it turned out to be amazing, like boot camp, because you just literally, they'd hand you the newspaper and say, start reading. And so you'd start at the headline and you'd have to read the comics to them. And so it made me a very good cold reader, just to be able to, you can hand me a piece of copy and I can read it, because of like doing that for like 5 or 6 years. And then after that, it kind of just went away. I moved to New York, and my wife was pursuing the Broadway thing, and I was working as a graphic artist, and I didn't have a lot of stuff going on with that. But then when I moved back to San Diego, 2007 or 8, is when podcasts started to happen. And I was like, hey, I could do this from my room. This would be kind of fun. And so I started a comics podcast called, I joined a comics podcast called Comics Coast to Coast. And then I started my own Tall Tale Radio. Yeah. And I did that for like 10 years. And that's where, so that just kind of scratched the itch.
You were on Comics Coast to Coast, huh?
Yeah, we started it. It was me, Brian Dunaway, and Justin.
That is where I discovered you.
Oh, was it really?
Yes.
All the way back there?
That's where,
wow.
yeah. That's where I found you.
Justin Thompson, Brian Dunaway. Justin and I
Yep.
are very good friends, and he's coming down for Comic-Con this year. We're going to hang out,
Oh.
which is going to be great.
Our
And so
friend-
that was a ton of fun.
Our friend Paul Pate wrote this before you even started talking, and
Mm-hmm.
now when I play it, it sounds sarcastic. I'm sorry. If I missed it. Can we get a rundown of Tom's career?
It didn't take very long. Trust me. It was like mildly talented artist who got lucky when desktop publishing came along. That's pretty much how I sum up my entire career. And then, but I also did some film stuff, which then led me to do video corporately, which has now led to my freelance career as a video person, which is real nice because I get to do the narration, and I'm like a one-stop shop. I can do animation, I can do Photoshop, I can do Premiere, I can do After Effects, I do all the audio. And so all of these weird things have combined into something that actually pays the bills. What a
I
concept.
think I was on your show, Tall Tale Radio, early on.
Pretty early on. I
There's
think
an
so. Yeah.
episode out there somewhere floating around.
Yeah.
I was on it.
I know.
And,
I'm terrible with the webmaster stuff. I mean, I'm not even sure I have copies of every single episode, to be honest with you.
I
I'm
might
not
have it
sure.
somewhere.
I'm not even sure if they're out there floating around, because I went through a whole like phase, and then I when the pandemic hit, I went through like this crazy phase. I think I did like 30 episodes in a very short time.
Wait,
But then I sort of burned out on it, and
there was a
and I kind of,
pandemic.
there was a pandemic. Yeah, you were that was when you were in that cocaine bender in Panama.
I was working on stuff during the
Exactly, you're working on stuff. And then, so I'm up and down about Tall Tale Radio. I need to actually kind of bring it back. But now I'm doing a podcast for the people I'm freelancing for, based on it's aimed at science educators. It's called It's Time for Science. We just launched it last month. I have another episode coming up, and that one's fun because A, I get paid, and B, it's a lot of fun. It's a very niche market. I'm very much into education, and then I'm going to actually go to Comic-Con and interview a bunch of people who do educational science comics, which is a very growing area of comics. There's a whole market of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math sort of comics. And so I'm kind of bringing that into this podcast. So that's been a lot of fun too.
So Paul says, I thought I discovered Tall Tale Radio around 2000.
I'm trying to think. It had to be, it was definitely when I moved back to
Like 2000.
I moved back to San Diego in 2006 after my daughter was born in 2005, because I was in New York from 95 to 2000, and I wasn't doing podcasts at the time.
And that's called the Time Machine, perhaps?
Yeah, I don't know. Time is weird, man. I did like 70 episodes of Comics Coast to Coast, and then a friend of mine started a site called Tall Tale Comics. Tall Tale Features.
Yeah. See,
No, it's
I'm
best
not-
you don't know. It's best you
I'm
don't know.
not the
Chris.
only one, you see, Tom.
Stay in the studio. It's better.
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, exactly. Man, that would have been nice if I could have done that for 2 years. What's going on? What the hell?
By the way, I don't like to watch the news. Leanne loves watching the news.
Oh yeah, no, I can't. I had to stop watching the news.
No,
I got off.
I just don't like to watch the news, period, because for one, it's frustrating because they all show the same like story with the same copy. And then for two, when they do have a good story, that's not in depth. Like I've seen them report stuff, and this, I don't mean this in a conspiracy way. I just mean this in a practical way. I've been at events, things, and then they cover it, and they didn't mention this, that was the coolest, they just, it's weird. It's
little
is like,
chicken McNuggets of news, and then
yes, it's like news-tertainment.
Newstertainment.
Infotainment? No, whatever. Anyways, but Leanne loves it. God bless the news. God bless the news. So Tom, would you like to see an amazing clip of animation?
Always.
Well, let me go.
Do you animate? Because you should look into that. I think that's something you would be good at.
Let me go find one.
Like talking to a career counselor. What do you do, Jim? What do you want to do? Let's take some of your disparate skills.
Okay, let's do this now. We're going to try it. If this doesn't work, then we're going to try something else. Look at that. Look at that drawing.
It's beautiful.
Oh, you know what? I think earlier, here we go. Earlier, this is the problem. I could have played. All right. This was the problem earlier. I didn't highlight the play button. So
there you go.
All right. This is a 7-second clip of animation. It's going to blow your mind. Here we go. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Beautiful ease in. Is that a keyframe ease in right there? Because that's a very nice ease in.
Yes. Look at that.
Look at that. Oh, look at that ease in. Oh, yeah. I like,
well, that's
a
an
good
ease out.
keyframe.
That's an ease out. That's what we call in the business. We call it ease out.
No, you're easing in. He's coming to a stop. Then you're easing in.
No, that would be easing out.
No, you ease out is when you start. Like if it was to start now and take off, that's ease out. But you eased into the keyframe and stopped. Maybe that's why your stuff is herky jerky. I don't know. I was think about that.
Wonder. Okay. Wow. So it's always great when the non-animator teaches the animator.
Hey, I'm an animator. I've animated.
Have you animated?
A lot, yeah. I worked at an animation studio in Scottsdale for about 2 years.
Oh my God.
In a way, I don't play this up, but in a way, you know those on sports broadcasts, and especially on Fox, they have those like robots that come out of the football robots and they do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We were hired a guy, I'll try to keep this short. A guy retired from Disney, moved to Scottsdale, but realized there was no like good hand-drawn animation. So he opened up his own studio and we did like Keebler Elves commercials and a bunch of Tony the Tigers and stuff like that. And I was doing some of the earliest digital painting on the Animo system, scanning all of the stuff and painting it. And Fox came to him and they wanted these robots to come out of the scoreboard for an NHL game. So the score would come in and then out of the score, a robot would stand up and like shoot the puck at the other one and they'd explode or something like that. So we hand drew the robots. And I used a rudimentary 3D program. I couldn't even tell you what it was. And I got scans of each team's logo and mapped it to the chest for every frame. And then they played. And I think they loved the idea. And then that's when they turned it to 3D. I remember even at the time saying, shouldn't they be doing this in 3D? There's 3D, you know? So, yeah.
That's awesome. I wish you had footage of that.
I do too. I wish I had that because it was very cool. It was very tough. Paul, I had in the early 2000s on Comic Sherpa, I did a comic called Booksmart. It was a single panel Far Side-esque thing. And I did that for about 3 or 4 years and nobody read it. So I stopped doing it, but I was very proud of it. It was a lot of fun. So I've stopped kind of doing it is very Commodores, very Commodore.
So is the Comic Sherpa still around?
You know, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think that Comic Sherpa was a great idea, but then the web sort of caught up to it. I mean, it's so much easier to just do it on your own. And there are other places I think that kind of pay you more because Sherpa was something you paid for, but it was cheap. It was only like $6 or $7 a month. And they gave you the ability to store your comics and get comments and stuff like that. And it was also I think it was through Universal Syndicate. They were actually the editors were looking at the stuff there. So it kind of felt like it was like the minor leagues, like maybe somebody would see your work and go, ooh, that was good. Because there were at least 2 or 3 that went on to bigger things. Yeah. So it was a lot of fun to do.
Where can people see your actual artwork?
Oh, I honestly, I don't really have anything out there anymore. I've kind of stopped doing that. I've been so wrapped up in video and I'm trying to focus more on the voice career. I haven't drawn in a while. It's been a little while.
I don't know. I told you stop drawing and start jawing, and then
no, I saw your work and I realized there was no way I was going to do better than that. So
you were like, I don't want to end up the way he did.
Jim Lujan, cautionary tale. Yeah. No, I don't know. That's a whole therapy session, maybe 3 or 4 more scotches. But I don't know what my life in comics. I don't know. I don't love it to the point where I need to do it all the time. I mean, look at the stuff you held up. You got to have that passion to be doing this all the time. And you should, if you've got that passion, that's where it should be going. But I think it was just that I could never find that foothold out there. And I just kind of I realized I was only doing it to see if I could get the foothold. I wasn't doing it because I loved it. And I think that's wrong.
You know what you are good at?
Death. A subject that nobody really wants to talk about, yet it affects most, if not all of us. I'm Travis Mulford, and while I've played doctors and policemen on television, I'm someone who in real life can't save you from the ravages of death and the impact your family will feel when you're 6 feet underground feeding the earthworms. That's why American Benemutual, the most trusted name in insurance, is here for you. And with over 200 years of service to their name, American Benemutual is a name you can trust and believe in. So the next time you feel that sweet whisper of death singing that doo-wop ditty in your ear hole, turn to the only ones who are selling peace of mind. American Benemutual. Trust and believe.
That's right.
I forgot about that one. Oh my God. I need that clip for my site. I need that clip for my site.
I'll give that to you.
I remember that I was very proud of that one reading because it totally came back to me. It just says, "No one's prepared for death," channeling my inner Wilford Brimley. And also, I love that if I wore a toupee, it would look just like that. By the way, it was just,
it's an accident, Tom. I don't draw the characters to look like you.
Just fat old men is all I am at this point. Well, no, I got to play the Brad Pitt character recently, so thank you very much for that.
And Mitch
Breeze. That's right.
Yeah. And then
I was wondering. Mitch has like douchebag hair. Can you be bald and be a douchebag, or are you just a dick if you're bald? Because I think douchebag requires a certain amount of hair.
Well, you're a dick if you're bald, if only at certain angles.
You resemble one.
Yes. But you played a cop in Burt Reynolds in Pleasure Beast.
Yeah.
Yes.
My dad was a cop, so I was very proud.
Oh yes.
Mark and Ben Mutual. Mark.
Your dad was a cop. My dad was a fireman.
Hey, yeah.
There you go.
My dad always said he respected the hell out of firemen. He was like, those guys run into burning buildings. it's like I'm not doing that. What are you talking about?
So Tom, let me ask you this. We'll start wrapping up, but I've never asked you your personal favorite comics, comic strips, influence, things that you grew up on that made you want to draw, made you want to get into storytelling.
Boy, we could be here all night. We said something about talking about 70s movies. We could do movies all night too.
When you were a little boy reading Prince Valiant.
I did read all the Sunday comics. I was one of those kids who read every single Sunday comic.
I know you did. Everything. Did you have a favorite, or which one stood out to you?
Well, I was going to start with he just recently passed away. It was John Romita Sr., he was 93 and he just passed away. He was my Spider-Man artist because I started reading Spider-Man probably in 1974-ish or whatever when I was very little. My brother collected, and John Romita made me want to be an artist. John Romita and John Buscema were the two guys that I wanted to be. And then I discovered guys like Frank Frazetta, and then Star Wars came out. And so all of those guys, my brother Bill bought me the Star Wars sketchbook. And it was then when I was 11 years old that I realized that artists worked in movies, that somebody drew an X-Wing for the first time. And I was like, that's what I want to do. And so that actually, I did pursue industrial design because I found out all those guys were industrial designers. And so I pursued industrial design at Arizona State for a little while. I ended up not getting the degree, but that was one of the reasons I went down that road. And then it was a combination of that and then seeing things like Raiders of the Lost Ark. And my parents were big movie fans, so we'd watch movies a lot. So I always wanted to make movies. So that's why I got into video, and I'm a big movie buff. But in terms of comic strips, it was my holy trinity was Bloom County, Far Side, and then probably Calvin and Hobbes. I usually have Calvin. Most people have Calvin Hobbes at the top. For me, is like third. I loved Calvin Hobbes, amazing. But I was much more of a Bloom County or Far Side sense of humor.
I love Farside,
yeah. I mean, I get the Farside calendar every year because it's just his bizarre. Growing up with Monty Python and all that kind of stuff. That's the stuff that I really wanted to do. And I think I've always said my problem as a cartoonist is that I wanted to be a comic book artist, but I wasn't that good, and so my cartoons look too comic booky. And my comic book stuff looks too cartoony. So I never found a middle ground. I never found that loose cartoon style or that really great, amazing, artist style over here. So,
Tom, do I have your legal permission to play a audio clip of Mitch Breeze?
That's up to you. This is all secretive because you haven't shown the whole film. So,
all right. So I'm going to play a couple of little clips. Tell me if you can hear these or not. Here we go.
Geez, the nerve of that guy.
That should be my ringtone for you. Geez, the nerve.
How about this? This is Mitch Breeze. I think they're at a nightclub and they're drinking and he's feeling very full of himself.
I mean, think about this. Every night, the audience, they worship at their altars, their TVs. We enter their homes, their living rooms, their bedrooms. We are illuminated idols to these people, bringing them pleasure and traffic in weather. Kings, baby. We are kings.
I love Mitch, man. I love him.
He's fun. He was so much fun. I just hope nobody walked in on me when I was recording that stuff because your stuff taken out of context is very questionable, Jim. Very questionable.
Plus, you were fully nude.
I was, mostly. Mark and Mark.
I don't know why I played that again. All right, I'm going to play a clip. This is a really short clip of a scene where of Chino Diamond just poking his head into the warehouse. I mean, sorry, into the backstage after a fight. I don't know why I had this one queued up, but I didn't play it, so I'm going to play it now. And it goes a little something like this.
Oh, hey, excuse me. Yeah. Hi, I'm Chino Diamond. I'm a friend of your Uncle Daryl.
That's it. That's it. Good night, everybody. So,
Thank you for coming, everyone. Thank you for coming.
well, I could play the whole. All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Dang it, I shouldn't, but I will.
Don't give away the secrets, man.
Well, I could play. Let me see. I'm going to give people a reward for watching this show. Not that you weren't a good guest.
I was going to say.
We had technical difficulties at the beginning.
We did have technical difficulties. I have no idea what's out there on the internet right now.
Yeah, but we're going to make it worth the while. If you didn't get enough satisfaction, we're going to. So here we go.
No satisfaction.
I'm going to find something. Tom, while I do this, tell people where they should look for you on the social medias.
I'm over on Instagram on Tall Tale Radio. And my voice site is tomracinevoice.com. And I'm also doing a science podcast called It's Time for Science. If you happen to be a science teacher or know someone who is, send them there.
Really? That's really true.
Yeah. Your second episode is launching next week. So I'm just getting started on that one. That was a lot of fun.
Okay. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick some music here.
Are you writing all the music for Full Fungus?
Yeah, I got a ton of stuff. I just haven't placed it in certain areas. So all of my video clips for my main film right now, they all have no music, and I just lay the music on top of the video layers. But like I've got this clip. I'm going to play this as if it's the music for this clip, but it is not. And then, well, actually, that won't work. I have to just play the clip. Sorry, guys. You have to watch it. No music. But
good
here
idea.
It is. Would you like to see like 2 minutes or so of the film?
I would love it.
All right. Here we go. This is naked footage that needs music added. Full Fungus.
Over here, man. Over here. Pass the rock.
Game!
Dude, pass the ball. Come on, over here, man.
Game! Foul! Come on!
Foul right there, Foul. You fouled me.
Nobody fouled you, man. You can't keep calling fouls for everything.
No, man. You obviously fouled me right now. I can barely feel my equilibrium. So, according to the rules of the game, I get ball and possession.
That's the same thing, you idiot.
Oh, we're doing that? We're doing that now? That's what we're doing?
Let's just play already, dude. Damn.
Man, shut up. Nobody asked you nothing.
Come on, man. Stop fooling around. Just go.
You want some of this? Come get it, boy. Come get it. Yeah. Come on. You like that? You like that?
Back on defense, man. Yeah. Ball. Over here, man. Check that for you. Pass the ball. Give me the ball here, man. Over here.
Jazz Richardson needs a 190 if possible.
Jazz has really been having an issue with his backspin this quarterfinals. He's got to really get a hold of that axis rotation. And he lets it go.
And there it is. The gopher snake strikes again.
Well, Geralt, it looks like you've been miraculously healed from your debilitating back injury.
I'm gonna drive on your ass.
Thank you, Jesus.
Foul!
Oh, come on.
You can't get game me.
What's wrong with you, man?
Hey, wait. Hold up. What's that dude across the street over there? You in that car right there. What's he doing? Is that fool filming me? That fool is filming me. Why you filming me, fool?
Uh-oh.
Hey, yo! Why you filming me? You want some? You want some of this? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you better take off. All right, let's go. Ball and possession.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome.
I'm so pleased.
How'd you come up with the camera name Leon? I like that.
That is the camera that's named after Neeson. That's his last name. My friend Neeson, who does a lot of singing for me. Neeson Leon. So it could be Leon or it could be Leon, whatever you like. But yeah, that's a pretty much edited version of what I have. There, that's without music, and there's a little bit more that is added. We're working on some voiceover, kind of messing around with an idea of noir voiceover from Charlie. So that would add a little bit to those scenes, but you get the gist of what's that little scene is a kind of a non sequitur scene. It kind of establishes who Chino is, but there's some other footage that's not the final version, but I'm pretty happy with it.
Do people know what the general concept of the movie is? I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I was going to ask you, is like you're making a movie about like a very famous piece of jazz music. Now, is there any pressure on you to create something that's epically hidden jazz music that it's
no, because you'll hear his other jazz music, but the full fungus is going to be kind of like the Pulp Fiction suitcase. You never really hear it. You never
going to be there, just in the background, maybe somewhere.
Thank you, Paul. The drone footage of the Thank you. That
was great.
Oh,
American. Diabetes.
But so, Tom, thank you. The room that you're sitting in we've recorded in that room.
Yes, right over there. I haven't taken down the blanket yet, just in case we had to do retakes.
We don't want people to see us, our nude bodies.
No. It's like a hot yoga studio. We get stripped down to the Speedos and
Yes. But Tom,
up the voice.
From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Always thank you. You are a go-to. You are a goat too.
Yeah.
And
that's nice. Well done.
Yeah, and it's just always a pleasure to work with you, and just we always have a good time, and you always deliver. Every swing of the pitch is a home run for
one of the few people when I get a text, I'm really excited because you're probably going to ask me to do something weird. I love it. Yeah. It's just like, oh, what's he got? What's he got?
Out of context, that sounds really horrible.
Yeah, exactly. Don't take that out of context. That's going to be my new ringtone. Right,
I love you, buddy, and I'm so glad to be working with you. You're inspiring, and I want people to check out your stuff. And I've always said Tall Tale Radio, or the Tom Racine Show, if you choose to ever call it that, is brilliant, and it is the real deal. And unless you're sick of doing it, I hope you do it again, because
I want to get back into it. It's a lot about time, and just both kids are in high school now, and things got a little weird with there's a ton of stuff going on, and it just seemed hard to schedule. But when I ramp up to Comic-Con, I always get the urge back again. It's like, I really should talk to people. What I really should do is like make it into like seasons. And just know that I'm going to have 3 months off or something. Because there's a weird, like you do like 10 in a row and you realize that 4 people have listened and you're like, why am I doing this? And then you get burnt out. And it's like, I should just like I'm just going to do 5 and then I'll do 5 more. And then I'll do 5 more, that kind of thing.
So. Well, I hope you do, Tom. I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
Tall Tale.
It's a lot of fun to do. I love doing it. I love talking to people.
So. And I'm a big fan of you, buddy. I really appreciate it. So
you my favorite.
Thank you for sticking with the technical issues, and thank you for everybody that chimed in. I'm glad we did a version of this that wasn't broadcasted. We started talking, and we used
like 5 minutes.
All of our good jokes gone, all of our energy gone, and then
6 more things of scotch.
Even when we relaunched, we weren't sure if is this online or not, and it was just a mess. But
I think Jim's done this before.
Beautiful mess. So, best mess. Greatest
kind of mess.
Best kind of mess. Other messes, not so good. So yes, and I agree, Paul. Tall Tale Radio is great.
Thank you.
You know what else is great?
American.
All right. So once again, guys, please go harass Tom on social media.
Woo-hoo.
It's great for that, and send him lewd pictures, and maybe you'll get one back. I'm just saying. That's how things happen.
Many things are differently lewd in different cultures, so you never know.
Oh, all right. So we're going to end this broadcast. Say thank you. Future guests include Kristofer Runciman, who is also doing voices in the film. Watch your back, Tom.
Excellent.
And also Charlie Rossman is going to be on this show at some point. Again, I've always said this. At first, I was doing these every 2 weeks regularly. as the project gets more involved and I get more, into the actual production of the full fungus, I'll be doing these infrequently and then maybe in clusters, but like right now it's like every 3 weeks or so, and we'll go from there, but they're free. Okay. So,
what are you complaining about?
So, all right, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. And every day, once a day, say the words "the full fungus." But all right, Tom, Mitch, you're the best.
Adios. See you later, man.
Stay there, Tom.
Be on the sunny side up.
Don't hang up.